Fear was always there. Long before words, long before memory, fear walked beside humanity. It came with the night, with the sound of wind through trees, with the sudden darkness of storms and the silence that followed death. Primitive humans did not fear the world because they were weak. They feared it because they did not understand it. Lightning split the sky without warning. The ground shook. Animals died. People died. And there were no answers. At first, fear had no shape. It was everywhere, in the dark forest, in the empty sky, in the still body of someone who would never move again. Death was the first mystery. When one of them stopped breathing, nothing explained why. The body was still warm. The eyes were closed, but something was gone. That absence demanded meaning. Fire became more than warmth. It became protection, light against the unknown, and slowly it became something sacred. At night, primitive humans gathered closer, not to speak, but to survive together. The fire cracked and whispered, throwing shadows on stone walls. Those shadows moved like living things. Fear watched from the darkness. Then something changed. Hands began to move with intention. Stones struck together not for tools but for sound. Feet moved in repeating patterns. Breath followed rhythm. These were not dances. They were attempts to control fear. Repetition created comfort. Comfort created belief. When the storm passed after the fire ritual, the mind connected the two. When the hunt succeeded after a gesture, meaning was born. Patterns were imagined, and imagination filled the silence. Symbols appeared on cave walls. Not art, memory. Marks to explain what words could not. A lion meant danger. A shape meant life. A circle meant protection. Belief did not begin as faith. It began as survival logic. If something unseen controlled the world, then maybe it could be influenced. Food was placed near the fire. Bones were arranged with care. The dead were no longer abandoned. They were remembered. Fear began to organize itself. Some individuals moved differently. They listened longer. They stared into flames. They spoke with gestures when others, they did not claim power. Power was given to them because in fear, humans look for guides. The first ritual leaders were not rulers. They were interpreters of the unknown. When the sky darkened unexpectedly, panic spread, knees touched the ground. Arms rose instinctively. Submission was born before gods were named. The unseen had power, and power demanded respect. Rituals became rules. Rules became repetition. Repetition became tradition. Belief began to shape behavior. People moved differently near sacred spaces. Voices lowered, movements slowed. Fear became controlled. But control always changes balance. Those who understood ritual gained influence. Those who questioned stayed silent. Belief united the group, but it also divided it. Inside the ritual circle was safety. Outside was chaos for the first time. Fear was no longer random. It had direction. Life became organized around the unseen. Coma birth, coma death, coma hunting, coma sleeping, coma. Everything was watched by something greater. Whether it existed or not no longer mattered. Belief worked. It calmed fear. It gave answers. It created order. but it also planted the first seeds of power when humans believed. They obeyed. When they obeyed, structure formed, and structure would soon reshape everything. As the sun rose after long nights of ritual, something remained, not in the sky, not in the fire, but in the mind. The world was no longer empty. It was filled with meaning. This was not the birth of gods. It was the birth of belief itself. And belief would change humanity forever. This was only the beginning.